Weeks ago, I was in Birmingham, Alabama. I was doing a sold-out benefit show for Alzheimer's research. It was a good show. It was a good cause. I thought it was a little weird they called it a night to remember. Didn't seem right. Some people get really mad at that joke. Usually only for about half an hour. Before that, I was up in northern Michigan doing a big show at a casino, one of the Indian reservations. I got to see one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, right up there with the birth of my children. An amazing sight before my eyes. Halfway through the show, I started getting heckled by a morbidly obese Native American woman with an oxygen tank in the front row sitting on a hover-round. And if you're not laughing at that, you have no imagination, because that was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It was center square in comedy bingo. I was like, hey, you settle the hell down, Snackajawea. I'll come down there and colonize your ass. Travel everywhere doing this. It's fun, driving around. Get a little delirious sometimes. It's a weird job because it's late hours, long drives, you never get any sleep. I was driving back from like Nebraska or Iowa or someplace one time. I had been up for 27 hours and I had to drive all the way back to Ohio. I started getting a little delirious. So I'm driving down the highway and I pass an interstate exit where there's a Steak and Shake. Now the conscious part of my brain makes conscious use of that information. It says, oh, Steak and Shake. They got good burgers, they got little skinny French fries. Maybe I'll stop there, haven't eaten dinner yet. That's a good idea. Subconscious part of my brain just starts lobbing up weird shit. It's like, oh, Steak and Shake. I bet that'd be the best method for taking out a vampire baby. I'll keep doing this gesture till everyone in the room gets the joke. In Alabama, it took 45 minutes, but we all got there. Just stood there doing that for 3/4 of an hour. Kind of fun. I think I'm a little cranky though in my old age, man. I'm turning 42 years old this year. 42! God! No, no, no. Sad. Because obviously I don't feel like I'm 42. I still have this like a whole Arrested Development thing happening, you know? I still feel 16 years old here. I still feel 16 years old here. And I'm married, so I still have to take care of this all by myself as often as I did when I was 16 years old. That's a whole nother joke. It's weird though, man. Everybody always told me, like, as soon as you hit 40, it's all gonna fall apart. It's all gonna quit working. It's all going downhill. You're done. You're screwed. It's over. Everything's gonna quit working. I get that. We're all mortal. We got a shelf life. I didn't think it was gonna happen this fast, though. I just turned 41 last year, and now I get morning wouldn't. Swing low. Good news is that's not true. Bad news is 41 years old now, kinda want it to be. I'll explain. Because obviously, I'm talking about that whole situation when a guy wakes up in the morning, looks under the covers, hello, you got that whole morning wood boner thing happening. And when you're in your 20s, that's fantastic. That's the best possible outcome. That just shows you're the center of the universe. God is in his heaven. He is smiling down upon you. You ran a system diagnostic in your sleep, and guess what? You passed. You got the first thing on your to-do list right in front of you. You don't even have to put your feet on the floor to accomplish it. It's like, fuck you, Folgers. I got the best part of waking up right here. Yeah, that's in your 20s. 41 now. I wake up, I look down, I see that, I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? I don't have time for you, boner. I gotta make breakfast for kids. I gotta pay a mortgage. I gotta drive long distances to tell jokes after 9-year-olds in a hotel bar. I got shit to do, boner! Now, and I drink drink a lot. So I wake up, I'm usually like at a DEFCON 5 bladder situation right off the bat. Anymore now, like a morningwood boner, just like that flag on the old school mailbox. It's like, hey, you got some shit to deal with today? Shit. I got seconds at best to take care of this problem. So I gotta run into the bathroom, I gotta do that like horrible flappity pole vaulter run into the bathroom in your boxer shorts. No woman should ever have to see that. That's just undignified. And women should be allowed to cancel their marriage vows with no penalty having to watch that just terrible flapping around, running to the... And then you get into the bathroom and you're faced with that dilemma because you gotta get it right. You gotta get it into its target. You can't make a mess. You can't keep blaming it on your son. He's 12 years old now. Everybody knows it's not him. So you're standing there trying to figure out what you got to do. I'm sitting there at 7:30 in the morning. I'm nursing a 3-alarm hangover. I'm trying to do boner geometry. I'm trying to figure out if I should rock way, way back on my heels and kind of rainbow it into the bowl, or whether I should go way, way up on my tippy toes and mash everything down and hope for a bank shot off of the porcelain. I'm scooting dirty towels and laundry over with my foot trying to create a moat. So I got a plan B in case of a mishap. I'm going through my son's school supplies looking for an angle and a protractor. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, there's some mornings I just turn around and arc it right into the bathtub. I do not give a shit. Grand Rapids, I'm a problem solver. Nah, it's alright though. I don't mind being this age. Kind of fun. Traveling, I got a great job, great family, got my health. There's only one time I can't stand it. Only one time I don't like being this age. I'll be sitting at a bar like this one after a show, knocking back a few drinks. I'll start talking to some kid in their 20s, and that's fine. We got a lot to talk about. For them, I'm kind of the ghost of bad decisions future. There's so much to teach them. But it always ends up where we'll start talking about music or video games or movies or anything, and they'll always say the same thing. They'll always be like, yeah, well, man, that's because I'm old school. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like, no, man, I'm old school. I'm old school. You think Limp Bizkit is classic rock. You go fuck yourself. And they get so mad. Like, no, dude, I'm old school. I'm old. Like, no, listen here. You were born in the 1990s. Do you know how that sounds to grown-ups? I was defaulting on my first batch of student loans while you were still shitting your pants to Bob the Builder reruns. And they get so mad. Like, no, dude, I'm old school. I'm not old, but I'm an old soul. I just don't like new stuff. Motherfucker, you are new stuff! And you always got to break it down for them in the simplest possible terms. It's like, listen here, Tanner. Tanner, Chance, or Jordan, you got a 90% chance of getting it right. It's like, listen here, Tanner, here's the deal. If you've never scraped frost off your windshield in the middle of January, in the middle of a polar vortex blizzard, with the broken edge of a cassette tape case, then your ass is not old school. End of fucking story. And then he goes, what's a cassette tape? And I have to punch him in his fucking face. Thanks, you guys. My name is Keith Bergman.
A lot of couples. I hear from my couples in the audience. Happy couples. That's a smaller number of couples, but it always makes me a little sad when I see happy couples in the audience because I'm not currently in a romantic relationship. I'm married, you know, so being married, I have the responsibility for all the romance in the relationship. I don't like that. You know, Valentine's Day came around, I did what I thought was the right thing. I went out, I got her roses, I got her candy, got her a nice card. You know what she told me? She said, oh, I didn't get you anything. She said, but it all comes out of the same account anyway, so you go out today and you get something that you really want, and that'll be for me. So that night I went out and I got a lap dance. That's right. I came home, I was like, you were so thoughtful. How did you know? And that's crazy. Yeah, Valentine's Day is weird. You know, I was at the mall on Valentine's Day. I like watching the guys go into Victoria's Secrets to try to pick out something for their woman. That's always funny. They always look like they were sent in there to defuse a bomb. They don't know what's going on in there. They have no idea what size that women wear. I don't know. I went in there. I said, what bra size does your wife wear? And I'm like, I don't know. This? What? I don't know what. I think that's about right. Can Cosmopolitan just admit that they have no idea what drives men wild in bed? Can they just do that? Every month, different article. 17 ways to drive your man wild in bed. 39 ways to drive your man wild in bed. 123 ways to drive your man wild in bed, right? They never pick the most obvious one. I never seen New Woman. That's never one of the suggestions. They never put that one in there. That works every time. I don't even think I want to be driven wild in bed. I'm usually trying for that not to happen, because that usually requires an apology afterwards. I don't. They should just have an article in all the state capitals, because that's what's going on in my head during the time. So, at least women, like, they're interested in, you know, driving their men wild in bed. You don't see the men articles. Male magazine articles never talk about it's how to get women into bed. We don't give you any guidance on what you do once you get there. It's let the buyer beware, I guess. You know, it's just crazy. Anyway, I got a daughter. My daughter, she makes me listen to her music in the car, so I had to listen to One Direction a lot. I don't. Yeah, exactly. A little boy band, if you don't know who One Direction is. Their big hit song is a song that goes, "You don't know you're beautiful, and that's what makes you beautiful." First time I heard that song, I said, that song is for ugly girls. Alright, because pretty girls know that they're pretty. They don't need 5 14-year-olds to remind them, right? They should only play that song at closing time at the bar. That's... You don't know you're beautiful, but it's last call. And that's what makes you beautiful. I've been married so long, when I see a young, attractive woman, I fool myself into thinking I could get with her if I was single. Nah. Now, a woman here tonight was hoping that she was going to take home Urkel's dad. I know that didn't happen. Learn to bring my expectations down to a reasonable level. I've had myself appraised. That's right. I know what I would go for in a singles market. This is what I did. I went on a free dating site and I put in my information just so I could see what type of women would be interested in me if I was ever to become available, right? And based on that information, I have decided to stay married. I went on plentyoffish.com and what? Oh, yeah. See, they know about plentyoffish.com. Yeah, that's the human clearance rack. If you don't know, that's what that site is. There are a lot of irregular individuals on that site. No, but a woman wanted to meet me. She said, I read your profile. You seem like a really nice guy. Maybe we can get together for lunch or for coffee. She said, I want to let you know right off the bat, I've got 4 kids. No, I was like, oh, hell no. I should be less scared. She told me she used to have a dick. I'm like, no, that's...
I'm 36 years old. I feel like I'm getting really old, and some of my friends think that my face looks pretty good for my age. And I'm flattered, but I'd like to think that my brown skin holding up is the least it could do, since it's held me back in many ways. It's true. China has an important innovation. I'm not sure if you heard about this. It's called smile surgery. The doctors there will turn the corners of your mouth up on either side, so it looks like you're happy all the time. Or they could just get rid of communism. Right? There's an idea.
I take it, are we big Barack Obama fans? They're all mixed thing. Did you guys at least vote though? Did you vote? Did you give him these I voted stickers? And see, I wear mine year-round. I didn't even vote. I just wear it so it looks like I'm a U.S. citizen. I knew you'd get that. You're actually going to go to Arizona and sell these. I'm not kidding. Who needs one? Who needs one? Usually they need them in the kitchen. Did I make that up? Is that no Hispanics in the kitchen here, huh? I got more Hispanics than the Tigers do. Only one noticed that. Actually, I am a U.S. citizen, but I was born in Pakistan. Thank you for that warm response. I was 7 years old when we learned we were coming to America. The only thing I knew about America was how rich it was, so I imagined there'd be golden streets everywhere, rubies, diamonds. We landed in Detroit. In 1968, right after riots. I'm like, they've done a bait and switch on my ass. 18 hours on airplane, I'm in Afghanistan. Of course, now when I travel, you can imagine they thoroughly search me. It's a point now, if I'm going to fly anywhere, only thing I wear at the airport is a thong. And I'm cocky about it. I'll be like, yeah, go ahead, look for my weapon of mass destruction. They just wave me through. They're like, you ain't hurting anyone with that. They remind me of that saying, once you've had a pack, you'll probably go back. It bothered me so much. I saw on the internet, they actually have this pump, makes your private area bigger. You three know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, it's like guaranteed to add 3 inches. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, I can double my manhood. But that's a math joke. I knew that wouldn't fly. But I'd like to do topical things, talk about the presidential election. You see, they're already talking about Hillary in 2016. Do we like that here? No, I didn't think so. But I don't know if it's because the Clintons have been in the news so much, but Monica Lewinsky just wrote a new book. If anybody's read it, she's trying to make herself a victim, which I tell you, that's hard to swallow. Even the critics are saying it sucks. And I guess the book's not very good either. But actually, I'm having the time of my life because ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to do stand-up comedy like this, but it seemed too scary, so I played it safe. For the last 25 years, I've been an Ann Arbor police officer. Thank you for that warm response. Okay, next thing. And I mentioned I'm from Pakistan, so whatever you think of my act, chances are I gotta be the only Pakistani police officer doing stand-up comedy in Grand Rapids with a 9-year-old. Got that going for me, yeah. Who looks like Johnny Mathis. Okay, young people have to Google him. But it's funny, when I first started with the Ann Arbor Police Department, it was not very diverse. It was almost all white police department with a handful of black officers and then me. Kind of like the diversity here. But so whenever a citizen had a complaint against me, they didn't get my name, Sergeant could still instantly figure it out because he'd always ask the citizen, he'd be like, can you describe this officer? Citizen would be like, oh yeah, it was that Puerto Rican guy. Of course, now we know where Pakistan is, right? Which isn't necessarily good for me to learn I'm from Pakistan. They'll dislike me. Because Bin Laden was hiding there, like I had something to do with that. But some of us, we do like our firefighters and police, right? Okay, thank you. So I'll milk that. But weird though, hate me for being Pakistani, love me for being a police officer, but it's really weird, get the complete opposite reaction at my Al-Qaeda meetings. God, kid, I do not go to Al-Qaeda meetings. We chat online. Thank you. Don't usually get applause for Al-Qaeda meetings. Thank you. Actually, I often don't even mention I'm a police officer because it seems like a regular comedy club, half the crowd has just smoked marijuana. Oh, a few are proud of it, huh? But not a big deal in Ann Arbor, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Do you know what the fine is? Oh, you must have paid it. It is. It's $25. It used to be $5. Remember the hash bash? They raised it to $25. What's weird there, though, if you have cigarettes, possession of tobacco for someone under age 18 is a $100 fine. So we literally get these teenagers with cigarettes, but they're pleading with us. It's marijuana. So just to save $75, I'll do the math. I'm from Pakistan. And a lot of people don't realize, but the breathalyzer will detect if you've been smoking marijuana. People think it just detects alcohol, but the way we can tell is if we give you the mouthpiece and you go, thank you, officer. Pretty good clue, you've been smoking some weed. And then, of course, anytime you take enforcement action, people always think it's because of their race or ethnicity. It's like right before I retired, I pulled over this gentleman. Before I could get his license and registration, he started screaming at me that the only reason I'm stopping him is because he's Mexican. What's so unfair, he wouldn't listen. He's honest goodness truth. I had no idea he was Mexican. Only reason I stopped him, I thought he was black. Come on, you can laugh. That is not the only reason. He was with a skinny white woman. Now, you know I'm kidding. She wasn't skinny. Thank you for laughing at that. Actually, when I first started, I'd be nervous to do that. I didn't want to offend anyone, but I think we're too politically correct, don't you? Yeah, thank you. I say have fun. It wasn't easy when I started. I'm not sure how the veteran officers did it, but they rewired my siren. So whenever I go pull somebody over, it's a usual police whistle sound, it would go, la, 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 la. Took me 2 weeks to learn to do that. Think it comes natural? It does not. I have to go to Dearborn. Some of you have been to Dearborn. Although I have to be honest, when I see an attractive woman, like many of the women here, I'll use the stereotypes in my favor. Tell them I'm a doctor. Although that's weird, right? Because you have the stereotypes for professionals, doctors, then you have the opposite, that we're terrorists. So what I do, I combine the two. Tell them I'm a proctologist. Certain age, those are the terrorists of the medical profession. And see what else is interesting about police work. Well, one thing is, if we pull somebody over, they give us any kind of lip or attitude, we'll give them 2 tickets to a Lions game. That too soon? Too soon? And then another interesting thing is like the use of tasers. It's like whenever we taser some old lady, it's on YouTube. I'll let you in on a little secret. The use of tasers will cause an instantaneous erection. Well, not in the people we taser, but in us officers. We love tasering. It excites us. I had one guy taser for over 4 hours. Then according to that Cialis commercial, I have to go see a doctor. Speaking of Cialis, did you see that hack joke on the internet about this woman kept pestering and nagging her husband to get those pills that would help him get an erection? So finally he complied, came back with diet pills for her. I'm not endorsing this. But I'll wrap up. Actually, one of the most fun things I did as a police officer was arresting prostitutes, because you got to flirt with them and stuff. But I remember there was one, she had a really short mini skirt on, she was wearing crotchless panties. She came to me, she's like, "Hey officer, you want some of this?" Of course I was professional, I said, "No I don't." She got offended, she's like, "Why, are you gay or something?" I said, "No, I just don't want any of that. I mean, look what it did to your panties." Besides, I could see her balls. I think she's from Saugatuck. I'm kidding, she's from Douglas. I kid you, I banged her.
We're gonna play some songs some of you guys can relate to, maybe. I didn't vote. I'll put that over here. Should put one on. Went to the bar the other night. How did I know? I was just about to fight.
Just about to fight.
Said something wrong to some guy I didn't know. He was a big motherfucker. He could bitch slap Rambo. He walked on over. He got in my face, telling me how I was gonna die in this place. Now he was drunk, but so was I. I said, "You motherfucker, it's you who's gonna die." He took a swing right to my teeth. My head went back, and he was kicking at my knee. He took another, he took another, he took another, and another, and another, another. No, he kicked my ass. He kicked my ass. He kicked my ass. Kicked my ass. It's about a friend of mine. Picked myself up right off the floor, wiped away the blood, and I headed out the door. He beat me bad, now this I know. So I dragged myself down to the local dojo. I started training, learning how to hit. Next time we meet, I won't take no shit. Won't take no shit. Now he was bad, but now I am too. Then he'd fall back, and he'd probably drop his beer. I'll throw another, I'd throw another, I'd throw another, and another, and another. I'll kick his ass. I can see it now. I'll kick his ass. I'll kick his ass real bad.
Part 3.
1 year had passed to the day. Went back to that bar, for I had something to say.
Something to say.
And he was there, but I'm on my own. But I'm so bad, I feel like Bruce Lee.
No.
Black Belt Jones. I walked on over, I got in his face, telling him how he was gonna die in this place. Now he was drunk, but so was I. I said, you motherfucker, it's you who's gonna die. He took a swing right to my teeth. My head went back, and he was kicking at my knee. He took another, he took another, he took another, and another, and another. Now he kicked my ass again. He kicked my ass one more time. He kicked my ass. Kicked my ass. It's for anyone who's ever had their ass kicked. Not me, about a friend of mine. Are there any Amandas in the house tonight? Any Amandas here? Really? Okay, this one's for you, Amanda. I've been sucked in, seems I'm over my head again. You know I didn't know when to say when. I'm sorry, but I think I fell in. To your eyes, your smile, I paint that picture, but it'll take me a while. And I don't think I have that much time to make you mine. I'm in love with a man, duh. I wanna marry a man, duh. Wanna make a love to a man,
Oh man.
duh. So far, it's been hard. Take a dropping and crashing my car. You know I didn't even drive that far. I'm sorry, but I think I fell hard for your style, your ways. I paint a picture, but it'll take a few days. And I don't think I need that much grace. It makes me say, I'm in love with a man, duh. I wanna marry a man, duh. I wanna make love to a man,
Oh man.
duh. That's the way I like it, baby. You know it. Here, put on this coat mask. I've been sucked in. Seems I'm over my head again. You know I didn't know when to say when. I'm sorry, but I think I fell in. To your eyes, your smile, I paint a picture, but it'll take me a while. I don't think I have that much time to make you mine. I'm in love with a man, duh. I wanna marry a man, duh. Wanna make love to a man,
Oh man.
duh.